SoFi investors, 2026, just kicked off with a wave of good news, and most people aren't connecting the dots yet. But I'm about to show you why this matters more than you think, because big banks like JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Citigroup just reported earnings showing the US consumer is still spending, still resilient, and still holding up. And when you pair that with macro data like strong retail sales, stable inflation, and healthy employment, it paints a powerful picture for a company like SoFi that lives and dies by consumer behavior. Because here's what most people don't realize. SoFi's entire business is built around personal loans, and those make up nearly 2/3 of its total loan portfolio, roughly $20.7 billion out of $33.3 billion, which is huge. And while that's great because personal loans generate way higher returns around 13.11% compared to just 5.89% for student loans, it also comes with more risk, since personal loans default more often, sitting around 4.33% compared to less than 1% for student loans. And that's why macroeconomic data is such a big deal for SoFi investors. Because when people lose jobs, cut hours, or face unexpected expenses, that's when defaults rise. And that's when lenders feel pain. But here's the good part. Retail sales just jumped 0.6% to $736 billion, beating expectations, showing that consumers are still spending, businesses are still making money, and workers are still being employed, which reduces the chance of widespread defaults. Meanwhile, Bank of America's CFO says the consumer is still in great shape. Citigroup says people aren't borrowing wildly or falling behind en masse. And all three major banks reported mid to high single-digit spending growth year over year, with declining delinquencies, which is exactly what you want to see if you own a consumer-focused lender like SoFi. But now let's talk about the stock, because despite all this good news, SoFi is still down from its highs, and people are confused. But the reason is simple: valuation. And I've been very clear about this. I loved SoFi throughout most of 2025. But once it pushed near $30 per share, I downgraded it to a hold, even when people hated that take, and since then, the stock has pulled back to around $26.40, while the broader market moved higher, proving that sometimes unpopular opinions end up being the right ones. Don't get me wrong, I still believe in SoFi's business model, their digital-first strategy, their ability to win as brick-and-mortar banks fall behind, and their explosive growth in members, deposits now over $30 billion, and rising customer engagement. But none of that matters if you overpay. And that's where my concern is. Because my updated discounted cash flow model puts SoFi's fair value around $19.54, well below its current price, and it's also trading at a forward PE of 49, which is steep for a company whose growth rate is expected to slow from 51% to 33% and then to 21% over the next few years. So while Wall Street still sees growth, it's decelerating, and that's why, as of January 14, 2026, I'm maintaining a hold rating on SoFi. Not because it's a bad company, but because valuation matters, timing matters, and discipline matters. And smart investors don't chase, they wait. And just so you know, this content is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own research because the goal isn't hype, it's long-term wealth.